Hello and welcome to another installment of the Plain Truth 12 channel. This is your host Luke. Now, a recent update regarding the Catastrophe 1.9 fiasco. Moderna says the catastrophe vaccine sent to Japan contains stainless steel. Now, this is a big issue. It's not only in Japan, it's also affected South Korea, it's also affected South Africa, it's also affecting America. Now, essentially, the matter revolves around metallic particles being black metallic particles and also pink particles being found in the Moderna and Johnson and Johnson shots. As stipulated here, Moderna has said that some batches of its Catastrophe 19 vaccine sent to Japan were contaminated with stainless steel particles, but the company did not expect it posed an undue risk to patient safety. Japan's health ministry said on Wednesday, based on information from the company's investigations, that it did not believe the particles of stainless steel posed any additional health risk. Now, this is following the death of two individuals, two men, as a consequence of taking the batches that had these metallic particles, as stipulated here. The contamination issue gained more attention after the health ministry said on Saturday that two men, aged 38 and 30, died in August within days of receiving their second Moderna doses. Each had received a dose from one of the suspended lots. And what's to be reinforced here is that millions or hundreds of thousands of these shots went out to the public before 1.6 million doses were taken out of production. So this is a big issue that the country is now facing. The explanation for this is that in some cases foreign substances were found in unused vials, while others appear to have been a result of incorrectly inserted needles, causing bits of the vials rubber to break off. So they're either saying it's rubber or it's bits of the machinery that's come in contact with it, but either way, this contamination is a big deal, and it's led to 1.6 million, at least 1.6 million, being taken out of production. Now, if we go to South Africa, again, it's a similar issue being linked to this issue here in Baltimore, in a Baltimore factory a couple months ago, but it just harkens back to the initial problem that the Baltimore factory was shut down by the FDA in mid-April due to contamination problems that forced the company to trash the equivalent of tens of millions of doses of vaccines it was making under the contract for Johnson & Johnson. The bulk vaccine was contaminated with an ingredient of AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine, which has been made in the same factory. Now, as of late, they have resumed production, but they have not been giving out these vaccines as a consequence. Now, this particular factory already has been grilled regarding its standards as having poorly trained employees, dirty walls, moldy environments, and so forth. The European Union's own vaccine, I closed the tab. Let me see, it's going to open straight away. No, because I closed the tab earlier on. But the European Union is also having a similar issue with regarding its own. The tab's not going to come up, but its own vaccine called Janssen or something like that, but it's been contaminated with other vaccine materials. So this is a big issue, and just to reinforce the point, in light of all of this, and just a reminder to the people that this is all business. So when they're encouraging more shots and more this and that, there are companies that are making money. But just to highlight the point,
an unwanted reminder of all the cash flows and the business dealings that underpin the global vaccine rollout. But it is a reminder, of course, that this is essentially a business that needs to be kept afloat, and pharmaceutical companies are out to make a profit, whether it's a large profit or a small profit. And of course that raises a whole raft of different ethical questions as well. But according to the latest contract between Pfizer, Moderna and the European Union, there will be a price hike for their shots in the imminent future. According to figures seen by the Financial Times, the new price for a Pfizer shot will be $23, up from $18. Moderna will go up to $25.50, up from $22.60. This, of course, as EU countries are very keen and anxious to stamp out the spread of the Delta variant. also comes at a time in which countries in the EU and beyond the EU are mulling the possibility of administering a third dose, a booster jab.
So just as he's stipulated there, and this needs to be reinforced, is that this is business, this is money. Governments are making money from this, companies are making money from this. One shot, as you've seen there, was £18, it's gone up to 20 odd quid, and then the other's gone up to 20 odd quid. And people need to realize, again, I did a video on legal indemnity where it got taken down, but you can't sue these companies for negligence or anything like this. So all these contamination problems, you can't sue anyone as a consequence of this. People have died, you can't do anything about this. And now they're increasing the prices to these governments. Governments are going to accept these contracts due to the Delta variant. But as we've seen in France, in Italy, in Australia, in New Zealand, there are many protests going on, taking over the countries. Yet behind closed doors, governments are accepting increased costs for these vaccines amidst the contamination issue. But yeah, this was just a quick update regarding what's going on in the catastrophe zone. Thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you join me on my next installment. Goodbye.